Alright, hello there. Today I am going to be dehydrating some beef. And before I start, I'm going to let you know I am not an expert. I have not taken any classes on this. What I have done is just researched what is the safest way to dehydrate meat for our family when we are backpacking or canoe camping. So, first thing you start off with is the leanest beef that you can get. And so I have done that, and I have started to cook it. All you're going to do is cook it till it is completely brown. As you are browning the burger, go ahead and make sure that you get the pieces as small as you possibly can. That helps with dehydrating evenly. You don't want to have big clumps and then also small little pieces. So go ahead and try to get them chopped up as finely as you can. Obviously not too small, or it might fall through the holes in your dehydrator. Okay, the next step is to rinse your burger to get off any fat and grease that is still there. And I try to do a really good job of getting off as much fat and grease as I possibly can. It is the fat that is going to make it go rancid, and that's what will make you sick. And I personally don't like to be sick, so I try to rinse this off as much as I possibly can. Return the meat to the pan. I do this just to burn off any excess water that might still be in the hamburger meat. And then this is when I season it. Because we've gotten rid of all the grease and the fat, that's all the taste and yumminess that goes with burger. And so I season it during this step. And for this batch, I'm going to do some minced onion and some garlic. I'm going to put that in there. A lot of times I will do taco seasoning. I've done just chili powder before. It just depends on what it is you're going to use the meat with. For this meat, I have gotten some hamburger helper. And so this is just going to be added to the hamburger helper. So it doesn't need to have a lot of seasoning because the hamburger helper is going to do the majority of it. But it's just nice to have a little bit to go with it. Place the meat in a single layer into your dehydrating trays. I use this mesh tray liner so that the fine hamburger doesn't fall through. And you'll see my liners are a little bit stained. That's because I dehydrate spaghetti as well. We have cooked, we have rinsed, we have re-seasoned, spread it out on our sheets, and now it is time to start the dehydrator. It is important that you dehydrate at least 160 degrees for meat. So I'm going to set my dehydrator to 160, maybe. Set it for 160 and start it. What I do is I just check it periodically. It takes a couple of hours to get meat dehydrated well, and I will show you what it looks like when it's done and how I check it. The hamburger finished dehydrating last night, but we were watching a movie and I did not want to mess with this step when it was so late. This is the hard part, and I still have not found a good way to do this. Now I have to be able to take the burger and put it into Ziploc bags. When we are backpacking, we use freezer bags because we freezer bag cook. We do not mess with cleaning pots and that kind of a thing when we're backpacking. But because we are canoe camping, I'm just going to use the cheaper sandwich bags because I will put the hamburger into boiling water into a pot. So now I have to get the burger off of this and into the sandwich bags, which is the messiest job I do on this whole thing, especially because of the type of dehydrator we have with the hole in the center. You can't just like slide everything off. It starts falling through the holes. I am not going to record this mess, although I'll show you the end product. Least amount of mess I have ever made. Not too bad. Alright, now the hard part is figuring out how to divide up the burger. Obviously, most of these meals are going to call for a pound of burger, and I can't give a pound of dehydrated burger as easily as you can weigh out, a pound of uncooked burger. And so what I'm going to do for this is I'm just going to give as much as I can to our chili, just because I like a chili being very meaty. And for the other three, I'm just going to divide it out equally. I have about 2.5 pounds of dehydrated burger here. And it's basically just a guessing game. One of these days I might actually figure out the real measurements, but for now, it's just guesses. Okay, Disciple was standing here during that last segment, and I need to clarify, that was 2.5 pounds of burger that I dehydrated. It was not 2.5 pounds worth of dehydrated meat. So, anyway, this is the finished product. I take everything out of the box, repackage it, mainly just because I don't like the way the boxes fit into our food barrel when we're canoe camping. And of course, when we are backpacking, I just don't want the weight. I do not put the directions on any of these. The directions are exactly the same for all of it. You put water in, you boil it, you turn it down, and you let it simmer. Well, when we're backpacking or canoe camping, we're not going to do that. I'm going to boil the water, and then I'm going to put everything in and just let it soak. That's pretty much what we do for all of the meals. Also, I don't pay attention to how much water it tells me to add because I'm putting in dehydrated burger and it's going to soak up more water than it would normally if it was just cooking and simmering and that sort of thing. So it's just an add as needed type of a deal. Sometimes I hit it right on the head, sometimes I do not. I have also added in here our dessert for each night. The bag itself becomes our garbage bag for the next day. So that's why I use these Ziploc bags to store everything in, because they become the garbage bags that we use the next day. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Thanks a lot.